as we finish up our conversation with Linda Murray. We're going to be talking about a subject that might be a little bit uncomfortable for some women. Women coaches can often feel ostracized or outside the inner circle in athletic departments, particularly among coaches. Frequently, women feel that maybe they aren't respected by their peers in the athletic department, and this can prove to be very difficult and often uncomfortable. Let's hear what Linda has to say about this.
How are the rates on that? Okay. Just stop behind him on this end. JJ, I'm gonna start you. You're gonna lead, so don't go past him, okay? Okay, so you closed a little more ground than you might think just because of you had to go around those boats and he went on the other side, which is fine, okay? Just so you know but now these guys are gonna be able to see. So you're gonna be able to see, so I don't want you to just take some strokes, move away, and just hold. You have to press the entire piece.
I'll notice when I go to the Eastern Sprints, our championship race on Saturday, when everybody's just rigging the boats and going out for practice rows, I'm the only woman there in Worcester. And it's even more striking than when I was in college and being an engineer. There weren't very many women in my class, but you sort of expected that and you saw women, but that's where it really strikes me that there's just no other women coaching men. I think that it's not that women don't choose to. There's not a lot of role models, and if you have somebody doing something in front of you, then it's a lot easier to think, well, I can do it too. It's like when I thought, oh, national team, there's people trying out for it, I can do that too. You don't see women coaching. I think it's hard to envision yourself doing that. I also think there's a lot of women are passed over in the hiring process. It's still an old boys network. Most schools, the administrator, the athletic director is a man. If there's a woman in the AD's position, you have a better chance. But like I was pretty lucky. Harry knew me. I had the credentials, and so I think that really helped get me in the door. Plus, they didn't really care about the freshman lightweight team too much at that point. But there shouldn't be a reason that women aren't. I mean, it's 3%. It was much better before Title IX, which is totally screwy, but it's because of the money that's involved. And now all these assistant coaches in men's programs that couldn't get head coaching jobs, get them in the women's jobs. And I think, again, it goes back to who the administration is. But it really should change because we're missing almost 50% of the population in terms of their coaching talent. So it's just an odd situation to be in, where you're the only woman or the only one of something. I think is just going to be a little bit weird. It's tough in staff meetings, or if there's a coaches meeting. I definitely feel like there's times when my opinion is not solicited, even though Harry was very supportive of hiring me. If he hadn't wanted to hire me, I wouldn't be here. So it goes kind of both ways. The alumni are probably the most difficult group to deal with. I say to them, I'm coaching the freshman lightweights, and so then immediately they're, well, how's the girls' team doing? And I'll say, the women's team? Well, you'd have to ask one of the women's coaches. It just doesn't register. And at this point, these are people who are my parents' age, and I can't write it off as somebody who's of a generation that shouldn't know better. So that's tough. Recruiting's not too bad. There's certainly with the high school students, with the boys, they're very open-minded. It's a very different generation than I grew up in. They're accepting of everything. I didn't have classmates in high school who were out, but these kids do. They have women as coaches, they have women as teachers, and it's not a big deal to them. It might be a big deal to their parents. And then I'm like, they're my age. That's really crazy that they have an issue with it. But in terms of recruiting, I'm not worried. I don't feel like I'm behind, my male counterparts in the league.
Okay, let's get ready. Attention, go.
If someone wants to start coaching, just do it. And I think the first step would find a coach, find a mentor, and I shadow that coach, even if it's a different sport. My best mentors on campus here are in ice hockey, basketball, and field hockey. And I go to their practices and I support their games. So I would find a coach, any sport, and shadow. And then get involved in youth sports. You don't have to have much experience. If you're a good person, you can get out there. And my sister works with first grade basketball kids. You know, she played basketball, but it's like she never coached. Get involved, build up a little bit of confidence, and then go from there. There's great opportunities, graduate assistants at a lot of schools, all sorts of things, but don't be intimidated. What's helped me a lot is to put on my thick skin and be ready for it. You know it's going to happen. You know you're going to get pushed and prodded and stepped on, and just do it, and just stand up and speak up and go for it.
Wow, what can we take away from this experience? Luckily, Linda is well supported by those she coaches with in rowing. In this respect, on a day-to-day basis, she does not feel excluded. But you know, some women are not so lucky. The key here is that you are not alone, and there is a community of women coaches who do support you and your efforts to excel in this profession. To share your story, please join the conversation on our blog today. As always, we thank you for joining us for this episode of The Real Women of Coaching, part of the Women's Coaching Network. Join us next time as we remain in Cambridge and speak to Harvard University's Tracy Green, head coach of the women's tennis program.